Hello students, our next topic of revision is nursing process. So in this session, I will be dealing with the nursing assessment. So nursing process, if you're seeing nursing process, it is a cornerstone of the nursing profession. We nurses are using a nursing process to give the care to the client. So what is nursing process? So it is a process by which where the nurses will deliver care to our patients, and this nursing process, it is supported by various nursing models and various philosophies. So this nursing models and philosophies I have taken like that Rogers theory, Orem's theory, Henderson's theory, holistic model. So everything is there. So I have already taken that. So based on that models and philosophies, this nursing process by which we are giving the care to our patients. And if you're seeing a nursing process, it is a goal-oriented method, okay? And that is providing a framework for the nursing care. Why we want the nursing process, or why we are delivering care through the nursing process? So what is the purpose of this? So let us be discuss regarding the purpose. So the purpose, it is identifying the client's health status, health problems and the health needs. By the nursing process, we can able to identify a client health status, what are his problems and what are the needs of a client. Then if we want to establish some plan in order to meet the identified needs, we need the help of the nursing process. And if we want to deliver some particular care, nursing interventions regarding or related to the needs what we have identified, we need the help of the nursing process. So what are the purposes of the nursing process? To identify a client's health status, to establish the plan to meet the needs, and in order to deliver the nursing care, we need the help of the nursing process. Moving on to the characteristics of nursing process, it is a cyclic and dynamic. So what is the cyclic meaning? It is like from the first step, it will be moving on to the next step, and data from each step, it will be providing the input for the next step, and it will be a continuous one. So if you're seeing the steps of the nursing process, it is a continuous one and it is a changing one. That is the sequence, it will be changing. So if you see, sometimes whenever we are assessing a client, we will find so many needs. But when we are repeatedly assessing the client after some time, maybe some or the other needs it have already met, or some extra needs might have come. So it means that the nursing process, it is a cyclic and it is a changing one, and it is a dynamic one. Second characteristic is that it is always a goal-oriented and client-centered. So what is that goal-oriented means? Every nurses are having a particular goal in order to meet the needs of the client, and we are developing the care plan according to the client. So whenever we are collecting the data from the client, according to that, based on that only, what care the client needs. So we are providing our nursing care based on the client. So always the nursing process, it is goal directed and client centered. Next one, it is interpersonal and collaborator. So one nurse, she cannot able to give the care to the client, or she cannot able to meet the all the needs of a client. So what she will be doing, she will be using her interpersonalship, she will be collaborating with the other members of the health team, so that a joint effort will be provided in order to give the quality care towards the client. Okay. Next one, it is universally applicable. So this nursing care plan, it is there where in all type of healthcare settings, we will be meeting the client's needs based on the nursing process, and it is a systemic one. So these are the characteristics of the nursing process. So what are the characteristics? It is a cyclic and dynamic, goal directed and client centered, interpersonal and collaborative, universally applicable, and it is systematic. So if you're seeing the next slide, nursing process, it is consisting of 5 steps. That is assessment, diagnose, planning, implementation and evaluation. So the nursing process, assessing, diagnosing, planning, implementing and evaluating. Assessing means we are gathering the data. Analyzing or diagnosing means we are identifying the problem from the client and we are formulating the nursing diagnosis. Planning, we are making a plan in order to meet the needs of the client. Implementing means we are carrying out the plan, and evaluating means we are evaluating whether the goal has met or not. So that is evaluating. So this 5 steps comprise of the nursing process: assessment, nursing diagnosis, planning, implementation, and evaluation. So if you are seeing what are the activities done in each phase, that is in assessment we are collecting data, organizing data, validating data, and documenting data. In the diagnosis we will be analyzing the data. We are identifying the health problems, risk and strength of the client. We are formulating the nursing diagnosis. Planning, we will be prioritizing the problems of the client. We will be formulating the goals. Then we are selecting the nursing interventions and we are making our nursing care plan. In the implementation, what we are doing, we are reassessing the client and we are implementing the nursing interventions what we have already planned. Also, we are documenting our nursing activities. In the evaluation, what we are doing, we are comparing the data with the outcomes. We are drawing the conclusions that whether the goal has met or not, and whether we want to continue or modify or terminate a particular plan. So these are the activities done by a nurse in the different phases of nursing process. So today's class, it will be regarding our nursing assessment. So what is nursing assessment? It is a systematic way of collecting the data from the patient. We are validating the data and we are communicating the data, and we are also comparing the data with the standards or the norm. Okay. So this is known as assessment. So what is assessment? Assessment means it is nothing but it's not only simply collecting the data. It is a systematic continuous collection of data, and we are validating the data. We are communicating the client data with the other healthcare members so that we can able to compare the collected data against the standards or the norms. So what are the types of assessment? Initial assessment, problem focused assessment, emergency assessment, and time lapsed assessment. Initial assessment means whenever the patient is coming to you for the first time, at that time the data which have collected, you will call it as initial assessment. Okay. Next one, problem focused assessment. Sometimes the patient will be exactly telling the specific problems of the client, or we may be earlier identifying the problem of a client. So based on that, we will be assessing only that problem. We will not ask any related or any other data from the client. Only what was the problem of the client, and we will be getting the data related to that particular problem. So if you are seeing here, a patient is having a problem of urination. So what we are doing, we will be assessing on fluid intake and urine output hourly. Next one, emergency. So whenever a client is coming to us, the rapid assessment done during any life-threatening conditions, we will call it as emergency assessment. Time-lapsed assessment means once the patient has come to us, we have done the initial assessment, then maybe the patient will be going or the patient will be discharging from the hospital. Then after several months, he will be again coming to us. That time when we collect the data, when that time we are collecting the data, we will call it as time-lapsed assessment. Okay. So time-lapsed assessment is nothing but reassessment of a client. So these are the types of assessment, that is initial assessment, problem focused assessment, emergency assessment, and time-lapsed assessment. So exactly what is assessment? It is observation of the patient or interviewing of the patient and the family, plus the examination of the patient by the physical examination and reviewing of medical record. So the sum total of all this thing is nursing assessment. What are the 4 activities of the nursing assessment? It is collecting data. We have to collect the data. So, and then the patient will be telling the data in a mixed way. We have to organize it. That is the next activity. Organize the data. We have to validate it. We have to find out that whether it is right or wrong. That is validating the data. And then we have to document the data. So what is collecting the data? Already I have told you that from different sources you are gathering the information regarding the client status. So what is the different sources? It could be a nursing health history, it can be a physical assessment, or it can be the history which is provided by a primary health care, and it can be the result from the laboratory or a diagnostic test. So when we are collecting all this data, when we are gathering the information related to the client's health status, we will be calling it as collecting the data. Two types of data is there, subjective and objective. So what is subjective? Whenever the client is telling his problems in his own feelings, his own values, his own perception, you will call it as subjective data. And what is objective data? That is, we are observing through the observation what a nurse or what a healthcare provider is finding out. That is known as objective data. And that data could be collected either by the observation or by the physical examination. Subjective data, it is also called covert data or symptoms. Objective data is also called the signs of overt data. So these are some examples. Next type of data is constant data and variable data. What is constant data? Some information related to a client, it does not change. For example, a blood group or a blood type, it will not change. It will be constant. That is known as constant data. Variable data, some data are there for in a client or in a person that will be changing frequently. For example, the BP, temperature, pulse, age, these data will be varying. So those type of data are known as variable data. So four types of data are there: subjective data, objective data, constant data, and variable data. What are the sources of the data? Mainly two sources are there: primary source and secondary source. Who is the primary source? The client himself is the primary source. Secondary sources can be the family members or support personnel, health professionals, records and report, or the diagnostic analysis. So if you're seeing, client is the best source who can able to give the subjective data. So always we will try to get the subjective data from the client. Support people, that is the family members or the friends or the caregivers, they can also give us adequate information related to a client. Client's record. If we want to have some documented data, we will be getting it from the client's record, such as medical records, record of any particular therapies, maybe speech therapy or from a dietitian. Then we will be getting the data from the laboratory records also. So medical records, if you are seeing, we will be doing the physical examination and getting the data. Record of therapies, already I have told you that is from a nutritionist or from a physical therapist, we will be getting the data. Laboratory record, that is the accurate health information we will be getting from a lab report. Then healthcare professionals. So healthcare professionals can also able to exchange the data. So whenever two doctors are working for a particular or two nurses are working for a particular patient, they can able to exchange the data what they have collected, so that those sharing of information, it is ensuring the continuity of care. Then from the literature, additional information related to a particular condition if we requires, we can able to review the literature what is already present. Then how the data could be collected. Data can be collected from a patient mainly by three methods, that is by observing, by interviewing and by examining. Observing, that is through the direct observation with the client, we can able to get the data. When we are interviewing, asking questions, we can get the data. And when we do a physical examination, we can able to get the data. So these are the three methods of data collection methods. So what are the three methods? Observation, interviewing and examination, physical examination. So when we are observing, we can able to find out what type of data. We can able to find out the BP, we can able to find out the temperature, activity of a client, whether we can able to find that whether the patient is in a stable status, whether the patient is conscious or not. So all this data we can able to gather by using our senses. So when we use our senses to gather the data, it is known as observation. Next one, interview. So a planned interview or a planned communication we have to set so that we can able to get the information from the client. So it can be a counseling session or it can be a interview session. So thereby we can able to get the information. And if you're seeing direct interview and non-directive interview are the two approaches. So what is directive interview? Here the nurses is gathering the information, client will be responding to the question, but only very less opportunity will be there to discuss. But in a non-directive interview, what the nurse is doing, the nurse is having the rapport building approach. She will be collecting both, will be have a two-way communication and getting many information. That is known as non-directive interview. Now, how the questions, what type of questions are there in a interview session? Closed question, open-ended question. What is this closed question? You will be giving a particular question which the patient will be giving you answer yes or no, or maybe some specification will be there. But if you are asking an open-ended question, where the client will be giving a elaborative answer, and we can able to clarify the thoughts and feelings of the client. So that type of questions is called open-ended question. So if you're seeing the example, what type of medication you have taken? I have taken paracetamol. Are you having a pain now? No, I'm not having the pain. When did you fall? I have fall down yesterday night. So some particular answer the patient, the specific answer the patient will be giving, that type of questions you will be called it as closed question. What is open-ended question? What brought you to the hospital? How did you feel regarding that situation? So if you're asking how did you feel regarding that situation, patient will be giving you a very elaborative answer. So that type of questions we will call it as open-ended questions. Then neutral questions. So some neutral questions are there where without any pressure from the client will be giving you the answers. So that type of questions is known as neutral question. Leading question means it is you are giving some hint so that the patient will be answering to you in that way. That type of questions is known as leading questions. So these are the type of questions which we can use in an interview. Closed question, open-ended questions, neutral questions, and leading questions. Then planning for an interview. How you have to plan for an interview? So whenever you're planning for an interview, you should already inform the client. Then you have to maintain the rapport between the client. You should fix the time, place, seating arrangement, distance, language. Everything should be planned before the interview has started. Then always the time it should be feasible for the client where there is no visitors. Place, always a well ventilated room which is free from distractions and noise should be selected. Seating arrangement, if you are seeing, there should not be any other client and only you and the patient should be there, or two chairs should be there. You can sit face to face, or if the client is lying down, you can sit at a 45-degree angle, then you can talk with the client. Then the distance between the two persons should be only 2 to 3 feet. Language, which language is known to the client, that language we have to use whenever we are getting the information from the client. Okay. So what are the stages of an interview? The opening session means you are building up the rapport, you are greeting the patients, you are giving your the self-introduction, and then you are getting the, then you are starting the meeting with the client, then you are starting the interview with the client. Then what is the body? Here you are asking the questions, you are getting the answer, you are maintaining the eye-to-eye contact. You should not be in a hurry, be sympathetic with the client. Speak very slowly and clearly. Use only the language which the client is understanding. By all these things, you are getting the information from the client. That is known as the body of the interview. Finally, the closing session where you will be terminating the relationship or terminating the interview with the client, where then you are getting all the answer to your question. So this is the steps in interview. That is the opening session, the body, and the closing session. Okay. Next one, so that is regarding collecting the data. Then what data we have collected, that we have to organize it. So we have to organize it either according to the nursing history format. See, we are having a format. According to that format, we have to arrange each and every data which we have obtained from the client. Then validating the data. So what is this validation? So we have to reach a kid whether during the assessment what information we have gathered, whether it is actual, because based on that only we are making the nursing diagnosis and intervention. So in order to find out whether the information is a factual one, we have to double check it. That double checking is known as validating the data. And last one, after validating the data, we have to document it. So whatsoever we have collected, whatsoever information we have collected from the client, we have to document it in a factual manner, not in our interpretation. Data is recorded as it is, what the client exactly has told you. According to that, we have to record each and everything. And in order to increase the accuracy, the nurse records the subjective data in the client's own words, when there we have to use the quotation marks. Okay. So this is regarding the nursing assessment. So if you're seeing the activities in the nursing assessment, collection of data, validation of organizing data, validating data, and documenting the data. So that's all for this session. Thank you.